My name is James Carter, and for the first 34 years of my life, I believed my mother could do no wrong. Mom, Eleanor Whitaker Carter, raised me alone after Dad died in a car accident when I was 9. She worked 2 jobs, kept the house spotless, volunteered at church, and still found time to attend every soccer game, every school play. People said she was a saint. I believed them. When I brought Sarah home 6 years ago, I expected Mom to welcome her the way she welcomed every stray friend or neighbor who needed a meal. Instead, the welcome was polite, cool, measured. Sarah was everything I wanted: kind, funny, ambitious in a quiet way. She taught 3rd grade, loved gardening, had a laugh that made strangers smile back. Her family was working class, her dad a mechanic, her mom a part-time librarian. Nothing flashy. Mom never said anything outright cruel, but the comments slipped out like silk over thorns. She's sweet, darling, so earnest. She must find our little traditions charming. Does she understand how things work in our circle, James? I told myself it was just Mom being protective. She'd lost one man she loved. She didn't want to lose her only son to someone who might not fit. Sarah tried hard. She learned to set the table with the correct forks, memorized the names of Mom's bridge club friends, complimented the antique china. But every Sunday dinner at Mom's house in the old colonial on Maple Lane felt like an audition Sarah kept failing. The first incident happened on a rainy October evening, 2 years into our marriage. Sarah had a known severe shellfish allergy, diagnosed at age 5 after a shrimp cocktail at a family barbecue sent her into anaphylactic shock. We carried EpiPens everywhere. Mom knew. The very first time Sarah visited, Mom had asked pointed questions. "Shellfish," you said. "How dramatic. You must be so careful." She'd patted Sarah's hand like a child. That Sunday, Mom served her famous bouillabaisse. "I made it special for you, Sarah dear. No shellfish, just fish stock and a touch of clam juice for depth." She smiled, that perfect hostess smile. Sarah hesitated. "It smells wonderful, but clam juice is still shellfish derived. I can't risk it." Mom's laugh was light. "Oh, darling, it's barely anything. The proteins break down in cooking. Doctors say trace amounts are fine for most people." Sarah looked at me. I shrugged. Mom knows what she's doing in the kitchen. It's probably okay. Sarah took one small spoonful to be polite. 5 minutes later, her lips tingled. 10 minutes, her throat felt tight. By the time we got to the car, she was wheezing, face blotchy. I jammed the EpiPen into her thigh while dialing 911 on speaker. Mom stood on the porch, watching, hands clasped, expression unreadable. At the ER, the doctor confirmed anaphylaxis, classic IgE-mediated response to tropomyosin, the shellfish protein. He said she must have had significant exposure. This wasn't trace. Mom arrived an hour later with flowers and tears. "I feel terrible. I thought it was safe. I researched it online." She hugged Sarah carefully. "You poor thing. You're so sensitive." Sarah forgave her. I forgave her. Accidents happen. But they kept happening. Thanksgiving, Mom's oyster stuffing accidentally mixed into the turkey dressing. Sarah ate one bite before realizing. Same reaction, EpiPen, ambulance, overnight observation. Christmas, shrimp bisque served as just a little starter soup. Mom swore the shrimp were tiny and cooked to nothing. Sarah ended up in the hospital again. Each time, Mom apologized profusely. Each time, she blamed miscommunication or a new recipe I misjudged. Each time, Sarah lost a little weight, grew a little quieter, started flinching at the smell of seafood. I started making excuses not to go to Sunday dinner. Mom called more often, voice trembling. "I miss my boy. Am I such a monster that my own daughter-in-law can't trust my cooking?" Guilt worked. We went back. Sarah's mother, Diane, noticed first. Diane was a soft-spoken woman who'd raised 3 kids on a librarian's salary after her husband's early death. She didn't have Mom's polish, but she had something Mom never did: radar for danger. One afternoon, Diane called me while Sarah was napping. "James, has Sarah been sick a lot lately?" I said, "Allergies acting up." Diane paused. "She only gets reactions after eating at your house, never anywhere else. Not restaurants, not our place, not even takeout." I laughed it off. "Mom wouldn't. Diane, come on." Accidents don't repeat the same way 3 times in 6 months. I hung up angry. Diane was overreacting, protective mother syndrome. But the seed was planted. Then came the New Year's Eve party at Mom's house. 20 people, catered except for Mom's special seafood canapes she insisted on making herself. Sarah stayed away from them. I saw Mom press one into Sarah's hand. "Just try it, dear. It's crab, but the sauce is light. For luck in the new year." Sarah ate it to avoid a scene. Within minutes, she was clutching her throat. I carried her to the guest bathroom, gave her the EpiPen, called 911. While paramedics worked, I went back to the living room. Mom was crying to her friends. "She's so fragile. I don't know how James copes." Something snapped. I drove Sarah home from the hospital at 3 a.m. She was pale, exhausted, IV marks on her arm. In the car, she whispered, "Your mom keeps doing this, James. Either she's incompetent or—" She didn't finish. She didn't have to. The next morning, I called Diane. "I need your help." Diane didn't gloat. She listened. Then she said, "Document everything. Dates, menus, reactions, what your mother says. Take photos of the food if you can. And James, don't confront Eleanor yet. People like her don't stop until they're caught." I felt sick. People like her. Over the next 3 months, I became someone I didn't recognize. I bought a small digital scale and started weighing portions Sarah ate at Mom's. I photographed plates before and after. I kept a spreadsheet: date, dish served, allergen claimed to be absent, time to reaction, ER notes if applicable. I even swiped a sample of Mom's leftover sauce from one dinner and froze it in a labeled Ziploc. Sarah watched me do it with growing horror. "You really think she's doing this on purpose?" "I don't know what to think," I admitted, "but if she is, we need proof." Diane suggested a private lab that specialized in allergen testing. I sent the sauce sample anonymously. 2 weeks later, the report came back: high levels of shrimp tropomyosin, far beyond trace contamination. The technician's note: "This sample contains enough allergen to trigger severe reaction in a sensitized individual." My hands shook as I read it. I didn't tell Sarah yet. I needed more. The final piece came on Easter Sunday. Mom invited just the 3 of us. Intimate, she called it. She served lobster bisque as the starter. I made it without cream this time, lighter for spring. Sarah stared at the bowl. "I can't, Eleanor. You know why." Mom's smile tightened. "After all this months, you still don't trust me? I've been so careful." I cut in. "She's not eating it." Mom turned to me, eyes glittering. "You're letting her turn you against me, James, after everything I've done." Sarah excused herself to the powder room. While she was gone, Mom leaned close. "She's making you choose, isn't she? Between your wife and your mother. Ungrateful girl. I could have accepted her if she'd tried harder, but she's dragging you down. Your career, your standing, everything." My blood went cold. "What are you saying?" Mom sipped her wine. "Accidents happen, especially to people who don't belong." I felt the world tilt. Sarah came back. I made an excuse. We had to leave early. In the car, I told her everything: the spreadsheet, the lab report, Mom's words. Sarah cried the whole way home. Not loud sobs, just quiet, exhausted tears. That night, I called Diane. "We have enough, but I need to record her admitting it." Diane suggested a wire, small, legal in one-party consent states like ours. Sarah agreed to wear it to the next family brunch. If she says anything incriminating, we end this. 2 weeks later, brunch at Mom's. Sarah wore a simple sundress with the recorder taped under the bodice. I pretended to have a work call and stepped outside to take it, leaving them alone in the sunroom. I listened from the patio through an app synced to the device. Mom's voice came through clear. "You look tired, dear. Still having those little episodes?" Sarah's reply was steady. "Only after your cooking, Eleanor." A pause. Then Mom laughed softly. "You're smarter than I gave you credit for. Most girls would have run by now. You've been putting shellfish in my food for months. Not enough to kill you, just enough to remind you. You don't belong here, Sarah. You never did. James deserves someone who understands our world. Someone elegant, connected, not a school teacher from a split-level house." Sarah's voice trembled, but held. "You tried to kill me." "Kill? Dramatic. I tried to show you the door. If you'd left quietly, none of this would have happened. But you stayed, stubborn, like your mother." I walked back in. Mom's face froze when she saw my expression. "James." I held up my phone. The recording was still running. "I heard everything." She